Hello and welcome to another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's JP's first son, Tim Hoey. Well, we have another great show for you tonight. So, boys, let's get it started. We have to start. It's Thursday night football. Look, always the best day of the week when your team is playing in it. Oh, my God. I mean, for all the great games that we've had and the night games, and we'll start with Joe. This is a Thursday night football game. Patriots Steelers. When you looked at the schedule, you thought, okay, this could be the start of the season. This could be a game to look forward to. We are rooting for the Patriots to lose, without a doubt, right?
This was one of the great rivalries of the last 20 years, going back to that 2001 ALCS. I mean, AFC Championship game. But now I took Pittsburgh in the under. The Patriots couldn't score 30 points. No. Unless the defenses do it.
If the
Pittsburgh offense is worse than the Patriots.
What's the over-under, Joe?
What?
What's the over-under?
The lowest over-under you ever heard, 30.
30, yeah. I think it's the lowest one in many years, right?
I haven't heard one like that low. It's usually in the around 40.
You know, I'm going to DraftKings right now.
No, I think you have those kind of over-unders, Joe, when there's been real inclement weather.
Yeah. Well, and the Patriots have been under all year. There's not a single game they've played in where they beat the over.
Is that right? Wow.
Everyone. Even like when Dallas beat them, 34-0? The over-under was like 37 or 38.
Yeah.
You know,
this has been a disgrace.
It's ridiculous.
But Timmy, the one constant are the head coaches. And that's the irony of this situation.
Tomlin
and Belichick still remain, but yet these two teams are a shell of themselves. I mean, obviously,
I just put 25 on the under. So.
What is the under?
30.
30. Yeah. Is it still 30, Tim?
Yeah.
It was 30 this morning.
Yeah, Stevenson is now out, probably out for this season.
Pop Douglas is out.
Is Parker probably not going to play?
Do you think we'll see the new quarterback?
Cunningham?
Yeah.
Malik?
I think they're going to have to do it because they just don't have many options right now.
Yeah, how could it be worse? It can't be worse, right? It's impossible to go down.
Yeah. But it's also, you kind of look pretty bad if all of a sudden Malik Cunningham comes in there and he wins you a game. It's like, what?
I don't think he's gonna, though. What we've seen of him this year hasn't been very impressive.
How do you do worse than 0 points?
Yeah.
What did Mac get the week before? 6 or something? I mean,
yeah.
This is the most. Is this the most pathetic offense you've ever watched in the history?
Is this the lowest scoring offense in history?
The only points Mac generated all year were like off the defense when defense covered fumbles or
handing the ball to 20 or
interception deep in the other team's air.
There's been no fun this year. This has been a no fun year. I mean, literally.
You know what makes me sick is we have become Jets fans. Like it's all about our draft picks now.
I know.
I used to make so much fun of the Jets.
And the Jets are competing with us now.
The only good day of the year to be a Jets fan was like draft day because you had awesome picks every year. You know?
And most likely we'll draft a player that'll be Zach Wilson, who this week. When they asked him to play, the Jets asked him to play, and he refused.
No,
yeah,
like he refuses to. He changed his mind. But earlier in the week, they said we're going to start you this week, and he said, "Nah, I'm not feeling it."
Aaron Rodgers even called him up to ask him to play.
Ask him to play.
He was a second.
But 4 out of 5 of those first-round draft pick quarterbacks never make it, right?
No, well, the 20. It was the 20 draft.
You go back to like that one draft where Marino and all them came.
No, the 20 draft with Burrows and stuff.
Burrows was with the number 1 guy.
Yeah, no, that's been really good. The draft with Mac Jones has been a disaster.
Yeah. Trevor
Really a
Lawrence
disaster.
is the only one who's made it in that
Yeah,
one.
Trevor Lawrence. And that
Really
was
a
Timmy's guy.
massive train wreck, all the quarterbacks except for Trevor Lawrence.
Tanking for Trevor.
Like
that was
disaster. Yeah.
Have you been able to peddle those 10,000 t-shirts you bought, Timmy?
Tank for
Tanking
Trevor.
for
No,
Trevor.
would I have been correct in hindsight? Yes.
He would have been the best of a bad litter.
If I go to Cuba right now, would they be wearing them?
He'd probably have Nicaragua.
And this year, I mean, there's not glowing. No one says any of these quarterbacks is a sure thing. This year.
Well, I mean, I think that not a sure thing. I agree, but I mean, Caleb Williams seems to be the consensus.
He seems like an asshole, though.
Yeah, but Scotty, I don't trust it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm making that pick, I'd probably take the wide receiver.
Marvin Harrison.
This is what I'm hearing. These are great rumors, and he's never going to come out of our life. He's never leaving. Jimmy G. The rumor is that they would pick Harrison and then bring back Jimmy G.
Even Josh got rid of him.
I know. Yeah, it's just.
And he was Josh's best buddy.
That would be, and because Belichick's not going to be here, so the next coach is not bringing Jimmy G back. I mean,
you know what? You bring back
Josh fired.
The best person you can. I mean, I don't know what your options are. You're looking who's possible to bring back, and you line them up.
But look at
you take a shot at the top of your list, and you move down.
You guys all laughed at me and said I was crazy when I said Gardner Minshew would have been a better thing. They should have grabbed him instead of Mac beginning of the year. And look how well he's done. What were they?
Never laugh at you, Joe, or make fun of you. Ever.
Yes, you did.
Never. Oh my God.
The Colts were 1-3 with their rookie phenom. He got hurt, and then Minshew came in, and now they're going to the playoffs.
No, I like Minshew. I don't. We weren't.
He's not going to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. But
one question I have: have we given the professor the proper amount of abuse for being behind Matt Jones this year?
Oh, I know we have.
We've let him off kind of easy.
Yeah, if that had been me, you never would have stopped.
No, never.
No, that was like I think the professor was taking like a long shot bet. If it came through, it looked like $1 million. But everyone knew he was going to fail anyways.
I mean, we knew it was going to be a disaster, right? 3 out of 4 of us had said it's like watching two trains coming down the same track at each other. You're just waiting for 3 out of 4 of us knew that. Why did the Patriots not know that? I mean,
well, Timmy, I think you nailed it. I mean, he's just not a tough guy. He's just not tough enough to play an NFL quarterback in 2020.
That's one stat. Worst under pressure. That's probably, if I'm a tough guy football player, that's probably the worst thing that I could probably be labeled. You know what I mean? The worst guy under pressure.
Yeah, and you have to be Joe, you have to be obviously a longtime fan. You have to be a certain age to remember Tony Eason. But when Tony Eason was bad, and the fact is Tony Eason's a lot better quarterback than Matt Jones ever was. When Tony Eason was bad, this is what he did. The moment he sniffed a rush.
But who was the lineman that said he put a skirt on that guy?
Did John Hannah say that?
It was one of the old linemen.
And unfortunately,
might have been Hannah. Hannah had the
it was Hannah, I believe, and he was following one of the toughest SOBs to ever put a shirt on, Steve Grogan.
Yeah. Well,
and by the way, Jim Plunkett might have been a last place guy here, but he was a tough bastard. He was getting sacked 5 or 6 times a game, and he was going down with the ball still in his arm, trying to make the throw.
Well, Eason played. I was there, squished a fish. I was in Miami with my dad. Eason played an incredible game to get us to the Super Bowl that year. He was as good as you had for a quarterback could be that game, if you remember.
He had the skill.
So he was a lot more skilled than. Wouldn't you agree? And had a better arm than Matt Jones.
Okay, well, Matt Jones has like a noodle arm. He doesn't.
I'd say he's tough. I'd say he's a little tougher than Matt Jones too. I mean, he had his drawbacks, but I think he's a little tougher than what we're seeing from Matt.
I guess when we saw Mac Jones, be carried off the field and he was that face, I couldn't even make that face. I'd hurt my.
Oh, remember that noise he made?
Oh, He made Nancy Kerrigan look like a stand-up guy, you know?
He totally did.
Don't hold back. Let's not hold back.
Nice one, Joe. He totally did. Nice callback. Oh my God.
Why? Why was he yelling? Why?
Remember,
Why?
he was going down. He's going down the stairs into the locker room on one leg, crying like a baby.
Oh, I know he was.
He was yelling, "Why?" Right? Why?
He was totally right then we knew what we had. Okay, so
you saw the defensive players looking at him like, what the
could you ever in your wildest dreams picture Steve Rogan doing that?
Oh no.
Steve Rogan, he had a neck brace. He used to play with literally a neck brace. Like he
would have stayed on the field.
3 fractured vertebrae. He's fucking like running, doing quarterback sneaks for 5 yards, you know.
The guy scored 14 touchdowns once.
That naked bootleg, he'd pull it off at least twice a game.
Oh my God, he had no knees. He had that guy.
He'd be going with no blockers against the other team's defense.
Well, the problem with Rogan was he wouldn't take a sack. He'd be going down and he'd throw it.
Yeah.
Remember? And then it always went badly when he was.
He was one of the most really unskilled quarterbacks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He did it with guts. He did it with pure guts.
No, but he could throw the long ball, Timmy.
I mean, he didn't have a lot of touch. You know what I mean?
We had Stanley Morgan. That was
he had the rest of the team playing for him because he was a good leader. You know, they knew he was a tough guy. Yeah. And he'd stand up for them.
Okay, what do we want to see tonight other than a loss?
Maybe the defense still play pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, do we? Are there a young player like all of a sudden Thornton? I don't want to see Thornton develop overnight because it hurts their chances, right?
He's gonna play. He's gonna play because they have no receivers left. He'll be starting.
They finally did that end around, guys. Finally, you got the fastest guy in the field. Why wouldn't you do end arounds? They finally did it. He gets 40 yards.
Yeah. Well, they did it earlier in the year, and he got caught for a loss a couple of times. That's why.
He's probably top 10 in the fastest in the league. Yeah. He's up there, right?
He's still skinny.
Yeah.
He's still skinny.
He's a freaking blazer, man. He's a blazer.
185 pounds in the National Football League. Oh, they'll break you in half.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why they have to tread lightly with him. The offensive line has been putrid the whole season. And so we have to give Mac Jones some love off that because they really have given him no protection.
But I gotta say, there's no offensive lines in the entire league. Every offensive line in the league sucks. I don't know what it is. They can't develop tackles anymore.
Did you see our tackles like waving at guys just flying by them?
Yeah.
Right? So, like they were waving at them like there's a guy across from you. You know he's coming.
Yeah, they didn't even know that.
And they're like, "Oh, where'd that guy come from? I didn't know he was rushing."
I know they don't know the job.
The competition committee is seriously considering allowing holding by changing the rules of holding because no one can stop. The defenses are way ahead of the offense. Defensive lines are way ahead of the offensive lines. They got like 10 moves, and you just all you got is to stand up and get in their way.
Well, so that would change the game.
They're going to find it. They're going to give them some holding.
No, I think you're right.
Oh my God! Well,
they got these quarterbacks got to stay upright.
Yeah, and no one, all these offensive lines, none of them can compete with these guys on defense anymore. They're faster and they got like 3 or 4 moves, and you only got 1. You know.
Hey, all right. Would you say this are the 4 major sports? NBA players. NBA is getting to be a higher quality game each year. Would you agree?
Yes.
NHL, higher quality game each year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball is starting to diminish as far as having a quality amount of players out in the field to field 32 teams. Would you agree?
Yep.
And I think the NFL is the same way. I think NFL football and Major League Baseball don't have enough athletes. And what's the difference between NHL and NHL, NBA, between MLB and NFL is foreign players.
Yeah.
That's it. those leagues are able to draw from the rest of the world. And unfortunately, football and baseball, to some extent, baseball is finally doing it with Japanese players. That's what that they need that international.
Well, basically, baseball is excluding Europe and Asia. I mean, well, we get some Japanese players coming in.
That's
Korea.
why more and more of these guys.
Japanese and
But
Korean.
you're eliminating Russia. You're eliminating all of Europe basically.
Well, they have to invest, Timmy. They're going to have to invest and start creating leagues and creating developmental teams across the world, because they don't have enough good players.
But the NFL is hamstrung because it costs a lot to put together a football team.
Yeah.
And it's just not the interest in Asia or Europe for it.
If you watch the World Rugby tournament, boy, there looks like there's plenty of guys out there who could be playing in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
maybe the kid that used to play for the Patriots, the safety there.
You look at like the New Zealand team, the South African team, the English team, the French team. There's plenty of guys in that field who have the build and the athleticism to be strapping an NFL uniform on.
Well, the NFL truly has to start a minor league system. They really do. They have to start a minor leagues.
They've tried with the World Football League before and the USFL and that kind
Isn't
of
the CFL style? CFL could be considered kind of a minor league, right? I mean,
it has to be more developmental, Joe. It has to be where.
Oh, definitely, but it's too expensive to put it together. Who's going to pay that?
Oh, they got plenty of dough. Well, the quality of the product.
Yeah, they got plenty of dough, but they don't want to spend it.
Here's one thing too: the injuries are so prevalent in the NFL. I mean, just going to a high school football game, there's 5 or 6 stops in play because of injuries just about every game.
Yeah,
where all the trainers go running out there.
Yeah, well,
I mean, just look at the league right now. Look at the injury list.
Would you compare a high school football at the highest level to 1960s NFL?
I'll tell you, I would consider Division I college hockey better than the 1970 NHL. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It would. So what was the question, Scotty?
Would you consider high-end Division I high school football, even in our state, equivalent to the 1960s in NFL football?
Nah.
Well, probably one thing, because there's a lot more black guys there, right? I mean,
they're a lot bigger, Joe.
Yeah.
Right, Timmy?
Yeah, but not as big as the guys in the 60s.
Yeah, 70s. I mean, once the
African they were men. You're talking men and boys. What I will say is, remember, before 1970, you used to have the first football game of the year was always the college all-stars versus the National Football League champion.
Yeah.
It used to be like the Green Bay Packers would play the college all-stars at the end of August, and that would kick off the football season.
Right. Well, I'll give you the equivalent. We won the Super Bowl in 1978. We didn't have a guy on that team over 235 pounds, right? I went to the CM Severian game this year. Both sides, offensive linemen were 300 plus, every guy on the line.
Yeah, right. There you go, Joe. I mean, Timmy, that's a great example, Joe. I mean,
and they weren't just fat slobs; they were athletic.
Yeah.
In the 1960s,
they live in. These kids live in the weight room now all year long on strict programs.
Yeah, in
lots of steroids.
1960s, you probably had linemen at 220.
John Hanna was 260.
Yeah.
Right? John Hanna was 260 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Joe. Yeah, and these guys are fast.
They're much stronger now.
And faster.
Bigger. I remember Refrigerator Perry was considered huge, and that's not that long ago, because he was 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Now everyone is over 300 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's definitely a crisis in the NFL. Not as much Major League Baseball, because we are getting that Asian influx, but there's a crisis in in the NFL, especially in the quarterback level. You don't have a good quarterback, you have nothing. You don't have a team, and they're going to probably go back to the running game like it used to be. And
you know what's amazing? These kids now are coming up with special quarterback coaches, and I mean, all these kids are being privately coached all up through the system now. I mean, the quarterbacks now are getting so much more coaching than they did through the years. Brady didn't have a private quarterback coach in high school. They go to these,
like the
professional
Mannings.
guys. Yeah.
Like the Mannings have this huge camp, and some of the kids come on scholarship because they want them because they think they're going to be maybe NFL caliber.
Well, if the other kids here, the three top kids are there, they all want to go there, right? I mean,
yeah. All right, boys, you got to all watch the game, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go predictions.
You just say, Alexa, play the game.
All right, we're gonna do last week's prediction.
All right, Timmy, what was last week?
I got it right here.
Alexa, be quiet.
What do we have? We played the cards.
I set it off.
Scotty, you had 16-13.
Okay, I was wrong.
Patriots. Russ had a 31-9. Joe had 24-9. I had 28-10.
Yeah. Well, who could predict?
Well, you were closest, Scott.
Scotty was the closest.
Yeah.
There's no scoring in that game.
Okay, here we go.
6-0.
Go,
That's
Timmy.
a baseball score.
Timmy.
Pitch
Oh, we're gonna get one touchdown. One.
Well, first of all, the Chargers tried very hard to lose that game. Those wide receivers are pathetic. I mean,
they dropped a couple of just bunnies.
Wide open. It's like they were just playing pitch and catch, and they couldn't even catch the ball. That any of those catches would have ended the game. I was so frustrated.
One touchdown. One.
Not one. All right, Timmy, give me your predictions.
I can't count on the Patriots to get a single point. I'll give the Patriots 3 points. I'll say 10-3 Steelers.
You're very generous. Very generous.
That just seems really fun to watch. Oh my God, I can't wait to do that.
I'm writing this down.
We really.
I'm sitting here every week now, so I'll look down and I'll see it. Steelers versus Pats.
It was so funny because I took
10-3.
Adrian and I took a flight from Virginia Beach at 12:30. We got in at 2. I turned on the game when we were on the cab, and I didn't miss any scoring. I was like, literally, you can't. There's nothing you can miss in these games. You can just watch fourth quarter, and
you weren't streaming in the. You weren't streaming in the.
No, I was streaming not the airplane. You couldn't do it.
The Uber.
Yeah. No, but the Uber I was. Stream East for everybody. All right. To be everyone.
The worst known secret on the planet.
I know. All right, Joe.
Oh, I'm gonna say like 15-12. The two defenses are gonna set each other, the teams up for lots of field goals. That TJ Watt, oh geez, I don't know who's gonna be the quarterback, but they better watch out for him.
All right, I can't. Mitch Trubisky is horrendous, but yeah, I'm going to say the Patriots are going to score a touchdown on the defense. The defense,
yeah, okay,
score a touchdown.
Pick six or a fumble recovery.
Pick six.
Okay.
Pick six on this one. Trubisky is really bad. If you thought Zappi and Mac Jones were bad, Trubisky, and I think he was a high draft pick too. I think he was.
He was the number one. Remember, they traded up to get him.
He was number
Chicago.
1.
Yeah, Chicago.
Oh my God, he's horrific. I'm going to say Patriots lose 13-10. So I'm giving them a field goal and a touchdown by the defense. But I want them to get wiped out. I want to watch a movie with Adrian or something tonight. I don't want to have to sit there for 3.5 hours, listen to Al Michaels, who he might as well be doing it from his couch. Have
Maybe
you watched?
he is.
He has no interest anymore, no emotion. Have you guys watched him this season?
Yeah.
I always liked Al Michaels.
No, I like him, but he has no interest in these games. He's done too many. Because remember, it's on Amazon tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you don't have to stream East it if you didn't want to.
While I'm doing laundry.
All right, you wrote those down, Timmy?
Yeah.
All right, good. All right, we're going to go to the Boston Red Sox, and we all looked forward to the winter meetings in Nashville. That's a weird place for winter meetings.
It's a happening place now, man. It's a hot town.
Yeah, but there's no baseball there except minor leagues.
Nashville Sounds. I once went to the Nashville Sounds minor leagues. We had a fun
Of
time.
course you did. Of course you did.
So Craig Breslow is Chaim Bloom ×2. Just interested in getting middle relievers. First of all, we have to address the Alex Verdugo situation. He gets traded. Timmy, the writing was on the wall with that.
You know, I didn't realize how much in the doghouse he was. You know, from a personality standpoint, like with the whole organization. I guess he was not a pleasant guy to have around.
Yeah.
But he was their best defensive player and one of their top 3 offensive players.
No, I don't know these minor leaguers. Did they give him away for a bag of balls?
Yeah, they did. They just
See, that pisses me off. Like, why not shop him and get something?
No, I think they did shop
him.
Well,
that Fitz is a major leaguer.
No, he hasn't pitched in the major leagues yet.
Yeah, he pitched last year for the
Yankees. The other guy did, Weigard or something.
So would you say we lost that trade?
I think that
I think we did.
Look,
but
no, guys,
hated him.
Guys, they shopped him around. They didn't want to trade with the Yankees. The Yankees were the only team that would give him anything. So he had no value. The guy, look.
He'll be starting in right field for the Yankees.
Well, yeah.
He'll be center field for the Yankees. They don't want to put Judge out there again because he always gets hurt every time he plays center.
Yeah. And then
so you're going to be starting center field for the Yankees. You got to have something.
No, he's going to do well as far as the short right field.
In all those flyouts to the right track here in Fenway are long gone in Yankee Stadium.
No, he's going to play well for them.
I bet you he hits 20 plus home runs.
What was the most he ever hit here? What was the most he ever hit here?
15?
Yeah.
15.
He had to go, though. I mean, look, you know, they were going to pay him $9 million. They didn't want to pay him that, which I understand. He couldn't get. It was either him or Cora that would have had to leave. They kept Cora. I mean, it feels like Cora is just running this team, like the whole organization.
It does feel like that, doesn't it?
But one thing I want to say,
I don't like it either.
No.
One thing I want to say is I like the emphasis that the new guy here has brought in on pitching. Can you believe that the Red Sox didn't have a director of pitching? No wonder they haven't developed anyone in the last 20 years.
Is that right?
Yeah. They hired the guy from the Minnesota Twins. The Minnesota fucking Twins, the cheapest organization, knew enough to have a pitcher. The Red Sox got like a dozen vice presidents, all of them in charge of being in charge of each other.
I know. But that's what's a kind of alarming.
They're all in charge of saying yes to Sam Kennedy.
It feels like the same information that Chaim did that was misdirected. Breslow's getting the same information from all these.
Well, that's why he went out and got his own guy to be the director of pitching. That someone else from the outside, because you inherit all the same scouts. You inherit the whole same evaluation process. So he's got to bring in some baseball people instead of all these numbers pushers.
Well, when they
got to let this guy go sign some people, or they're going to be looking for another general manager next year.
Yeah, remember what happened to Sweetie when he first came up? He had those 2 horrific drafts. Remember, he had the 3 number 1s in a row, and all 3 of them sucked. Well, DeBrusque's been okay, but he inherited all the old, Shirelli's scouts and everything, all his old buddies from college and everything. You don't get to come in with 30, 40 new guys at once. So you got to go slow.
Timmy's been saying this for the last year or two. You're right, Timmy. They have a mid-market to small market mentality now. Henry, it's just a line item on his asset list sheet. They're not going to spend big money. We keep on waiting for it. It's not going to happen.
We should be in the fight. We are heavyweights. We're heavyweights.
No, no longer. No longer.
I know, no, but on the balance sheet, they're heavyweights, Scotty.
But they're not.
But they don't spend like it.
Last year, they were 14th in spending.
And they're going to pare it down. They're paring this down. You can tell. I mean, Verdugo is probably a cost-cutting move. We think, okay, that's $9 million that'll go toward another pitcher. They don't think that way. They're all he does is talk about Russ sent us the word interest. We have interest in these interest.
Yeah.
They're just rhetoric. It's Sam
Now,
Kennedy.
where are the Red Sox in revenue wise? Do they print that?
Oh yeah, they're major market. They're not the Dodgers or the Yankees, but they're a top 5, I'll bet.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if they're fucking top 5 in revenue, they should be top 5 in spending.
Yep.
Every year.
But
Instead,
the Red Sox,
you see San Diego's and Texas's of the world that
But
don't
Joe,
have the
you know
money.
what? You know what? I would say at least they're trying.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. Well, Texas won the World Series.
they're doing better than trying. Look, we were at the second to last home game, Joe and I, Timmy, and the enthusiasm and the spirit at the game with the fans, the place was banged out. People were having fun.
Bunch of drunk college kids.
But nobody cared. Nobody cared that they were out of it. They were just watching the game, excited for them to win, going to go home. I just don't think that it's old fogies like us who still care. The rest of the fan base is just happy to go to Fenway and sing.
It's a night out, it's like going to the movies because no one goes to
Yeah,
the
but
movies anymore.
how does that reflect in the TV ratings, though? I wonder.
Well,
You might pack in Fenway because Fenway's just a fun place to be. You know what I mean?
And that was the real money makers.
It's centered amongst the 15 colleges. It's within walking distance of BU, BC, Simmons, Emmanuel, MIT.
Well, that Nesson Plus has got to been a big failure. Who's doing Nesson Plus and paying $30-$40 a month for Nesson?
The numbers that matter, Scotty, are the advertisers on Nesson.
I know. Well, they clearly nobody's been watching the team the last 2 years. They've been horrific. And
I tell you, I barely watch anymore.
We're December 7th. They have not given us a reason to watch this team right now. There's no reason to watch it, right?
No.
And I don't think you're not going to see any action because all the guys that control it are the players right now. Yamamoto, he's going to sit back and let the Mets outbid the Dodgers, outbid the Yankees, outbid the Red Sox, and none of the other free agents are going to move off their ass until they see what he gets.
Yeah, Ohtani's like on the clock now, right? He's down in a couple of days now. Didn't he say something like he's going to decide within a few days?
Today the Red Sox aren't getting him.
Oh yeah, today they said Toronto's the front runner.
I
can't see
that
happening.
Yeah, well, they're keeping it
taking Canadian money.
Sure.
Toronto's outbidding us now. I mean,
that's Canadian money, so they got to pony up even more.
I don't even understand what we're getting at. I don't even know.
And the taxes in Canada are outrageous too. So that usually most free agents won't go to Canada.
Joe, he'll get free medical care though.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
they get like ask Scotty. If you spend 1 day in the major leagues, you get your medical insurance paid for life.
The rest of the life.
For your rest of your life.
I heard the dancers in Montreal. You have to tip them less because it's American.
He's in Toronto.
Canadian.
Toronto.
But but it's Canadian. So it's like you throw a couple of Canadian dollars up on the stage. It's like throwing one American dollar.
On stage, dancers. I don't know where you're at.
Things I've heard from people that I know.
Tim is just back from Las Vegas
and heading to Montreal very, very soon. Do you want to go more in depth?
Well, they don't have the snow problem because you don't even need the ice melt because they got those heated sidewalks.
Montreal's a fun town, let me tell you.
Yeah, Montreal is
fun town.
They were just there.
It's like you go to Europe,
Yeah, very fun.
Drive 5 hours and you're in Europe. That's what it feels like.
And good exchange rate right now for the U.S. dollar.
Great exchange rate.
Give a 1/3 off everything.
Yeah.
Ooh, very.
And then, so apparently, I heard some dancers. I don't know. All right. Look, let's it's prediction time. I always just say the Japanese pitcher. What is Yamamoto?
Yamamoto.
Right?
All right.
Yamamoto.
Does he sign with the Boston Red Sox? Because otherwise, I could care less who he's going to sign with.
I say no. I say no. There's just too much competition. Someone else will outbid them.
Okay. Why?
Steve Cohen will top any offer.
Okay, Timmy, do we sign him?
They have to. They have to.
But they
have to
can't.
sign him.
They can't.
Joe, they have money.
They have money, but there's other people with more money.
Well, I mean, I agree. So Timmy says no. I don't think they're going to sign him either.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And
I don't think Ohtani will come here either.
I thought they were going to sign Blake Snell, but apparently, again, he wants to stay in the West Coast. Remember, these guys like Nola, they can go where they want.
Yeah.
So is this the issue? Is this the issue?
Money, they don't care.
So is this the issue? We now have an owner who's in it to make money, and we're competing against billionaires who treat their teams like their little personal toy, who don't care about making a buck off the team. Is that what it really comes down to?
No, I think that.
So what does it matter if you have so much money? I mean,
well, in New York,
they're willing to make
right.
less money, right?
Tim's right in New York because Cohen, and now it looks like Steinbrenner is starting to act like his daddy because they're bound and determined to sign Soto and Yamamoto. And those are the two heavyweights swinging for Yamamoto.
Yeah, winning to them is more important than the bottom line.
So we're just going to fall further behind in the AL East.
And even the Orioles are starting to spend in there. And the Angelos might be selling.
They just signed Kimbrel.
And the Angelos might be selling.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
And once you get rid of those cheap pricks, Katie by the door, someone could really spend down there.
And we're looking at another last place finish, guys.
I agree.
Look, if Toronto signs Ohtani, Yankees have Soto and possibly Yamamoto. Okay, the Orioles are going to start.
How hard is it to say Yamamoto?
Yamamoto.
Yamamoto.
Wasn't he the admiral we hated?
Yeah, the World War II admiral Yamamoto.
Why the hell do I have to say him? He's not going to play for the Red Sox. What do I care about him for?
And the Orioles have that great young team, and all they need is some pitching.
And they have all these, like they have Holiday, who's coming up. He's the #1 prospect in baseball. Yeah. Matt Holliday's kid. I mean, yeah, the Red Sox could be in last place for the next 10 years.
For a while, yeah.
I mean, this is.
And Sam Kennedy raised the prices.
Of course he did.
America's most beloved park. Welcome to America's most beloved park.
You did that very well. Look, it's all right, first of all, I told you last week, I said, if Craig Breslow says the word Chris Sale one time, we're done. And he literally said it like 3 days later, including the next sentence. We think maybe we're going to get some production from Bobby Dahlbeck.
Is he under directive to say this? I mean, are they holding his kids like hostage or something? And they saying, "Hey, you got up and say this," they're doomed.
No, because
he's in trouble. His kids are in the Newton school, so Newton probably has more season ticket holders than any other town. Well, so they could be in trouble.
Brookline competes. No, I think Brookline has more problems.
Yeah, but Newton's a bigger place.
Yeah. Well, I had enough tickets at one point, more than anybody total in Newton. I had like Section 8, other than Timmy and Russ. Look, the fact is that nobody was breaking down the door to get Craig Breslow to run their organization.
He was like the 8th pick, 10th pick.
Yeah, so he was happy to get it. So he's going to count. Don't you think that Henry gave him orders?
But that's a dangerous precedent, though, Scotty. I mean, he has more leverage than he realizes, because this cannot become a revolving door position, right? I mean, the worst thing that can happen to this organization is they have to fire him at the end of the year.
Well, they're
going to say, what an unstable program, and then try hiring someone after him.
But they help us. I mean, they finished in last place. They were already behind in the race of acquiring players right now. You don't get a big star to bring to this team. You're facing a last place team again, finish, and we're just in
So
December.
who do they blame next year? We got to blame Hines.
They're going to fire Cora.
2 years of a shit show, right?
Yeah,
they fire Cora.
but it's through all these regimes, it's the same Sam Kennedy and the same 6 vice presidents that do nothing. Fire them.
But it's
7.
John Henry.
Fire
It's John Henry and his partners who are saying no.
No, they're
Tom
getting
Water.
more. Sam Kennedy's getting more responsibilities in the Fenway Sports Group, not less, because he's a sales guy. They're never going to fire him.
If they buy the PGA, he'll become the president of the PGA.
I mean, but we have an ownership group that does not care anymore.
So I know he doesn't. He said, you know what his answer is? I gave you 4 worlds. It's like kind of Belichick's answer now. I gave you 6 Super Bowls. What more do you want? I gave you 4 World Series. What more? You ungrateful bastards. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Yeah, you're lucky. You're lucky I showed up here. You know how dare you?
Remember, these are old men. We're talking about Henry and Belichick. They're both in their 70s. What do you think? They give a crap about the Boston Red Sox fans? You gotta be kidding. They don't even want to see us anymore. Henry doesn't even want to be in our presence.
But he's happy that Sam sells out the place all the time, even at the end of the season when they're in last place.
But Joe, that's a minor piece of it. It's the advertiser Nesson.
Oh yeah, that's the cash cow Nesson. That's become less of a cash cow.
So so I mean, they're getting hit in the pocketbook somewhere on this stuff.
Timmy, they still make plenty of dough, and then the value of the team grows.
I know, just sitting there it grows, right? I mean, just existing it grows. And same with the Patriots.
It's growing probably $300 million a year, just the growth.
Yeah, just sitting there. It just existing today, it probably went up in value $1 million.
Oh yeah, easy.
Oh, millions.
Yeah, I mean, so they don't care, and now they're going to build around Fenway Park. So they're going to create more income there. It's just another little toy to them.
They've bought that whole Kenmore Square.
Hey, wait. We didn't talk about the soccer stadium getting shot down in Everett.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, I didn't hear much details about that.
So that went before the state legislature, and it got shut down. That was a massive kick in the balls for Bob Kraft.
If the Patriots had been in first place, they would have got their stadium. Even though it's on like a Superfund site.
Yeah. Why'd they shoot that down?
So you know what? I guess the Bruins were against it, for one thing, right? I don't know how much weight the Bruins carry with the politicians, but they were afraid it would take away a lot of the concerts that go to TD Garden. It would be about the same size.
Wow. But it's an outdoor arena, right?
Yeah, but they can get all the summer stuff. They can get everything from May to October. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Because it's about 18,000 seats.
That's all it was going to be?
And they don't cancel and they don't cancel those outdoor concerts. Look at Taylor Swift last time they were at Gillette.
Yeah,
they didn't give 70,000 refunds.
So the Bruins, for whatever influence they have, were fighting it like dogs. Jacobs. Mayor Wu was against it because I think she would still like Everett, I think they're still a little bit sore over the casino going to Everett,
Right.
So, a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that goes on.
Well, remember there was going to be like right there along the expressway where the flower exchange was.
Yeah,
by Albany Street there.
Yeah, they got a name for that there, the mid circle or something like Wydett Circle.
Where do you think they'll go next? Where does he go next? Just build it right in Foxborough?
Well, they've been playing in Foxborough since they started.
No, but I mean, just build one. Just I
think a big fan base is the Latino community.
Yeah,
I think they'd like it.
It's well, it could be south of Boston because the Portuguese community is big.
I do a lot of work with the Brazilian community, and they love them some soccer, let me tell you.
And that's pretty much south of Boston too.
Any space on Mass Ave?
Mass and Cass?
Yeah, right. Mass and Cass, level it.
Right, level it, right?
That's that big. Well, there is that spot, all the meat district there. They got all those meat warehouses and everything.
Remember, you don't need that much space. You don't need as much space as you think if it's going to be that small of a place.
It could be like Fenway, no parking.
Yeah.
Or you put 5 levels underneath the stadium.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You could do it. Do it in Boston, right? Fun
There's
time.
No, it's
no
not
there's
like- it's
no
not like
train
you're
line that goes there other than Andrew Station would be the closest to that where
Well,
train
the orange line goes.
that
right
yeah, but that's a
down,
bus now.
Yeah, no, not the orange line isn't a bus.
Yeah.
The orange line used to go right down
Doesn't the
Washington
silver
Street.
line go right down down
No,
Tremont Street?
the orange line goes right by City Hospital. So
Yeah.
you'd have to walk over from Back Bay, no,
From
Mass
Washington
Ave,
Street?
the Mass Ave station. I don't know.
Yeah, but
Something
obviously,
like that.
ideally, you'd like to see it in Boston, right?
Sure.
It'd be fun, right?
Yeah, but like I said, the Bruins aren't for it. I don't know how much weight they carry.
When the Bruins
Well,
have
they on the radio when I heard it, on BZ when they reported how it got shot down, one of the people they mentioned who were not in favor of it was the Bruins owners.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the Celtics. 15-5. They lost and people like, this is so exciting, this in-season tournament. I couldn't get into it at all. I could care less.
Let me tell you,
I'd rather they were playing tonight, though.
Let me tell you a major screw up. So I have half a season ticket package, and the ticket, everything's on your phone now. It just said playoff, and it had 3 possible dates underneath it. Okay, so I know 3 other people who have the same exact package that I have. Right? None of us knew when the game was until last night. We got an email. It's tomorrow night. Did you even know they were playing the Knicks tomorrow night?
Because it said TBD next to
because the Knicks, they had to see how the Knicks were going to do.
Yeah,
Right?
they were going to play the loser of the
Yeah.
Knicks Bucks.
So I called my guy who buys some tickets from me, and he goes, "It's a disaster. Nobody even knows they have tickets for the game."
Is that right?
And tickets are half the price of any other game so far this year.
It's a Friday night. It's a Friday night.
And
against
no
the
one knows.
Knicks.
And no one knows it wasn't scheduled, so no one knows.
I
that
had to
it's
call
happening.
my buddy. I texted my buddy at 11 o'clock last night. I said, you have Friday night's game. He goes, "What game?" I had to explain it to him.
Oh, well,
Because if you're a season ticket holder for the Celtics, you get an email every other day. Hey, do this, do that. We're doing this. You start paying attention to them. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I just happened to read that one, and it said
They just added that game.
Yeah.
No, it was going to happen. You either go to Vegas or you play in the losers bracket. You're going to play a game because it just who you're going to play and when you're going to play it and where you're going to play it is to be determined. So it just says TBD next to
So
it.
if that's
play the
happening in
Knicks every
Boston,
week.
if that's happening in Boston, it's happening to every other team in the league that is in a similar situation to the Celtics right now, right? So I bet you turn the game on Friday night, and the place going to be a third empty.
Well, aren't they sending notifications if this is the case? If you
They
know,
are, but it's just. Well, for one thing, no one can plan. You didn't know when to plan to go to the game. You didn't put a night aside. You know what I mean? You didn't say, "No, I can't go to that birthday party Friday night or whatever. I'm not going to that dinner I got invited to." You know what I mean? Friday night because I have tickets for the Celtics.
Yeah, right. Of course.
And there's zero aftermarket for it. None.
Go to the secondary market. No one knows, so everything is like half price.
That's very interesting. Yeah, and they play the Knicks. How many times have they played the Knicks?
And the Knicks are usually a pretty tough ticket
on a Friday night. You know what I mean?
Well, the college student.
Now go to the secondary market and compare tomorrow night's game to the one I think they're going to be playing Toronto on a Friday night coming up.
Yeah, it's totally different.
And it's totally different, like right around Christmas time. And I bet you it's 4 times the price.
Well, to talk about the team for a second, it's pretty clear, like we've talked about every week, this team can only win a championship or big games if all hands are on deck.
And Porzingis, while he's not the second best player on the team, he's the second most important player on the team. Without him, you lose a lot of your offensive.
Defensively, but defensively.
All right.
Defensively.
You can buy. I just looked it up. You can buy a ticket section low 7 right now for $77. The
Oh,
face
wow,
value
that's
is like
really
100
low.
The face value is like $140.
That's really low. Very low. Wow. Wow.
Because it caught everyone by surprise. No one things weren't firmed up until 2 nights ago.
So
When the Milwaukee Knicks game was.
That's less than face value.
Oh, big time, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
you can get a seat in section 1.
What's this? What's the? Is that this? The least...
Section 1 would be center court. They're $279. This is on StubHub. You know what I mean? My section is section 8. You can get a ticket for it just bumped up to $108. But the face value is like higher than that.
Yeah, well, I think the market's going to figure itself out. People are going to start to hear that and snap up those tickets, because 77 on a Friday night to see the Celtics in December in the lower section, that's pretty good.
Those are nice Christmas presents.
Yeah, that's a nice one. That's fun, right? It's a nice take. All right, boys, let's go to the team. Needless to say, it's all about right now figuring out who you can trust in the bench. And short of Al Horford, who can you trust in the bench, Joe?
Well, Hauser's been good, I thought.
Okay, so Hauser.
I'll go with Hauser.
Pritchard.
Pritchard's having a nice
Pritchard has come on strong the last couple of weeks. So he is.
But is he such a defensive liability?
No, he plays defense a different way than the other guy. He can't play someone straight up, like say a Holiday can, or he plays more like D. White, beats the guy to his spot and waits for him, then got to take him from behind. You
got to remember the other Celtics are exceptional defensive players.
No.
The guys, the guys we're comparing him to are like top notch defensive players, right? I mean, where would Pritchard be NBA wise defensively?
Oh, he'd be a starter on a lot of teams.
You think so?
I mean, if we did a defensive matrix across the league, would Pritchard be about 50th percentile?
I just saw a stat the other day. Pritchard is top 10 in the league in assist to turnover ratio. So that's very
a great stat. Yeah. I mean, you're comparing him to D. White and Drew Holiday. I mean, 2 freaking studs. You know what I mean? Of course they attack.
Holiday's been an all-star multiple times.
Of course they attack him when he's out there, because everyone else on the floor is a stud.
Yeah. Well, I think Holiday's been very good defensively, but I think he's been a disappointment offensively.
Yeah. Well, he's never been. He's not a 20-point a game scorer. Never has.
He's not a good finisher, Joe.
Yeah.
He gets to the basket. He misses a lot of layups.
But
I'll take
it. He is a great defender. And Porzingis is a poor straight up defender. So it works out well that he can take on the big guys like him.
No, I think he's a great defender. I'm not saying that, but he's been disappointing offensively.
Yeah.
I mean, he almost Marcus-like.
Yeah.
Or little DJ like. I mean, DJ wasn't a great offensive player.
He's killed me on 2 6 leg parlays this year. I hit everything else, and on one, it's the gambling. I always bet the under 13.5. Is his
6 leg parlay. Why don't you just go to the corner liquor store and play Keno all day, Joe?
One time they changed a 2 points into a 3-pointer, and he beat me. He got 14 points.
6 leg. What are your expectations for a 6 leg?
I've done very well with the Celtics. You do the alternate points. You don't do. You do all the money line. The minus 250 type.
What do you do? A bird cage and a reversal, or what do you do?
I don't know. I don't bother with that. I just do the straight. I take the low hanging fruit.
Degenerate gambler.
Joe has figured out the 6-leg parlay.
And you put $5 down and you win 100.
Have you ever won a parlay? Have you ever won a 6-leg parlay?
Yes.
When?
I won 3 on one
7?
night. I won 3 on one night.
My
2 of them
father
were the
used to say-
Celtics game.
As my father used to say, gambling brings families closer together. You get to live in you get to live in a smaller house.
Joe, you're trying to tell me right now that you won in one night 3 6-leg parlays.
Yes. Yes.
Are you going to need to
40.
show
He
me
played
that?
40.
2 of them
40
were
bucks.
virtually identical in the Celtics game. So
I'm going to need some receipts on that one because we're going to get our
DraftKings. Bob Kraft plays it very close to that. He gives you the receipts.
We're doing a gambling show. If you know, that's how we're selling the gambling show to a major network. Joe, show me those 3 6. Come on, Joe. Joe, I lost 22 straight bets before I had to get off DraftKings. 22 straight.
I know they give you lousy odds, so you have to take
Oh my
the
God.
How many
easy
emails
stuff.
do you guys get a day from those guys?
Oh my, like 8 or 9 at least.
I'm on MGM and them. I get 5 a day from each.
And they're gonna give me this bet.
Then they go, if you have a gambling problem, call this number. But we're gonna email you 6 times a
If
day.
you win, they don't give you any profit boost. Nothing. They give you. I get nothing. I haven't gotten anything for months. They won't give you.
You have a
anything if
drinking
you're
problem,
winning.
but here, open your mouth.
But did we tell you about the new strawberry vodka? And then
It used to be they'd give me 50%, profit boost, 100% profit boost. Now I get nothing, 0. The only thing they give me is for something I never touch, like horse racing or rugby.
Because you're winning 6-leg parlays all the time.
They won't give you anything once you win. If you win, they don't give you nothing.
They'll
feed you when you lose, and they'll give you all the profit boosts in the world to keep you playing.
Vegas wasn't built on winners.
All right, we're gonna finish up with the Boston Bruins, and I've never seen a team. Usually, when the chances of scoring a goal during an empty net used to be maybe 10%. Would you say?
It's like you're expecting it now. I was expecting it, Scott. I was expecting it. I'm like, when's it coming? And I know it's happening. I'm like, it's happening.
Yeah.
Boom, it went in.
And it's 10 seconds left in the game, and I'm like, they'll probably score still.
Yeah. It's like 10 seconds. It's like, even if the puck's down the other end. How I wonder how they're going to get up there and score, but they're going to.
I don't understand. I don't understand it. How can you outplay a team? I mean, again, we could have won a Stanley Cup if we knew how to clear the puck against the Panthers.
Yeah.
You go into it's a mentality. You stop playing the game. It's almost like the prevent defense in football.
Playing not to lose.
You're playing not to lose. Instead of just going after the guy with the puck, trying to block his shot instead of going after him. Trying to get in the lane of the shot instead of attacking the guy. You know what I mean?
Okay, Timmy, you're our expert enough. So you played at a high level in hockey. What is the strategy? Is it to just clear the puck without icing it, or to shoot the net?
You do try not to ice it. You do try not to ice it.
You don't need a face off in your end.
Yeah, you try to feather it out there. Get it to stop. Before it's an ice.
But you're never shooting for the net unless you're on the other.
I don't know. I don't know. It depends on how important the game is. Sometimes, you know what I mean.
But if these guys have the puck,
that has a lot to do with it, Scotty. How important is the game? I mean, I don't mind someone once in a while taking a shot at scoring from you. Bobby, you did it a few times. You know what I mean? Every so often it happens. That's a very good question, Scotty. I don't know if I give you an exact answer on it. I would say you do not try to ice it. You do not want face-offs in your end. You're just trying to get it out of your zone.
I'm kind of confused why guys haven't, they've been practicing all their lives. They should have it like a pool shot, a carom, that they can, if you control the puck and you know where to hit it off the the boards and they'll bank it right into the net. But you never see anyone try to bank it into the net.
Well, right.
Probably
what are the
because the
Bruins
odds
doing?
of that happening are probably extremely low.
Well, you would think someone would have developed that shot over the years. I know the boards are different in every rink, and even
remember, Joe, they don't want to put it over the boards or it's a penalty.
Yeah, you basically just try to get it out of the zone. Try to get it as deep as you can without icing. You definitely don't want to ice it. You know, you probably, it's not good if you go for the goal that it turns into an icing. That's not a good thing. So,
well, what are the Bruins doing wrong?
Because if you lose the face-off in your own end,
it's almost like the prevent defense in football. You know, they stop playing their game. They go into survival. They go into survival mode instead of playing hockey.
Yeah.
It does seem a lot of them are hitting the ice, trying to block shots near the goaltender. It just seems they do. They don't play like they start scrambling a lot.
You know what's weird, Scotty? You know, I played in so many games. You're up by one goal, and the end always seems to end with a scramble in front of your own net. If you're winning by one goal, for some reason, it's just the way it happens. I mean, we've pulled a lot of games out where we've stopped, you know, a great thing. But for some reason, a one-goal game, the puck always seems to be down around your net, and you dive in to block a shot. Well, I don't know why, but that's just how it happens, you know.
Well, in one way, it's a good thing because that means you're winning most games. If you have a problem with this,
I mean,
you're ahead in most games.
A big thing in the NHL right now, and this going back a few years ago, anyone who has the puck, everyone on that side of the ice, you're trying to put layers of bodies between the puck and the goalie. You know, the guy on the puck, the guy, you know, the next guy back in the zone. You're trying to make it so that puck can't get to the net. You know, it's all about blocking. Like, it's so hard to get a shot off in the NHL. It's crazy with this method that they've come up with of putting layers between the puck and the goalie. I mean, you never used to see shots blocked like they're blocked now.
Well, the teams never have a problem when they have an empty net. It's if Montgomery loses in a playoff round because of this, will he get fired?
Well, if he loses, like, you know, 6-5,
another playoff round because there was an empty net, and I mean,
I think they'll fix it, Scotty. I think it's become a critical mass right now. They probably hired consultants to come in and talk about it.
This is something they're looking at and talking.
Yeah, they're definitely. I mean, 7 goals on 6 off. I thought, I couldn't believe the stat. I didn't think it was right. You know,
I've seen the stat and we talked about it, and it's crazy. But is it the worst lack of efficiency in the history of the NHL? I got to believe it, right?
You know, for years when the goalie pulled the other night, I used to be like, "Oh, right, yeah, that means we get an easy goal."
Yeah,
right? That's
Game
typically
over.
what it turned out to be, right?
Game over.
I mean, maybe did they just hit an incredible streak of bad luck? That could be it.
Especially you have 5 guys on the ice. It's not like you're sure to you have your
and the other team is taking huge risks to keep the puck in the zone.
Yes.
So instead of a defenseman backing up, he's coming up and, you know, challenging you to come out of the zone with the puck. You know what I mean? So
and how much are they playing? How much do you practice having 6 guys on the ice?
Oh, you do it. You practice. Well, for one thing, you practice penalty killing a lot. So that's kind of equivalent to it a little bit.
No, but this is different because having.
Well, I guarantee you, Scotty, they're practicing a lot right now. I guarantee you that.
Because now you got a guy in each slot. You got a guy in the left and the right.
They got film coaches who are breaking it down and going second by second of what's going on. I guarantee you they're doing that.
This is embarrassing. And then at this point,
I think it's almost like it's like a statistical anomaly, like crazy, you know?
Yeah. What's coaching? You have to blame coaching on this.
I don't know. They're a pretty good team, Scott.
No, but still,
ultimately, it's the players that aren't playing.
No, but in this case, Joe.
Well, Scotty, I would say if it keeps happening, yes. But I don't think it's going to keep happening. It's like statistically, it's almost impossible to continue.
Look, we blame we don't blame the players and special teams when all of a sudden the Bills scored 2 touchdowns in special teams again. We blame the coaches.
But I just don't know how much you don't practice 6-on-5 a lot. You have so many other things to work on. You get 2 hours a day. You know what I mean? You got to work on your penalty kill. You got to work on your power play. I mean, a massive part of practice is the power play. That's a big part of practice because that's where you get your goals, right? Penalty kill is a big part of practice. I mean, conditioning drills are a big part of practice. How much fucking time can you spend on 6-on-5, you know?
And there's so many offensive plays now that there never used to be. It used to be they just batted around and hoped to get a good shot. Now they're running set plays like a basketball or football team out there.
I guarantee you they're working on it now. But you know, it's just not part of hockey, Scotty. You just don't practice. You just don't have time to practice it that much, you know.
And you don't see a lot of film on it, so you don't know what the other team's going to attack you with. So as the season goes on, they'll see what the other team's doing 6-on-5 situations, and they'll be able to prepare for it, and they'll be able to coach it up so that won't work against them.
Well, we'll see what happens with the Bruins in the future, but I expect no more empty net goals the rest of the season. And still, they would have a horrific stat.
Yeah. You know. Well, they used to remember last year, they always put Pasta out there so he could get that empty net goal because they wanted them to get 60.
No.
They put him out there and they were getting screwed and they had to pull.
Well, that's what you saw all over the internet was Wise Pasta on the ice. Wise Pasta.
Yeah, he is a defensive liability.
I want 4 defensemen out there. I'm serious. Why not? I want big guys.
I want a guy that knows how to handle the puck.
Yeah.
I'd like Marchand out there for that.
Yeah, I like Marchand out there for that.
He's a great forechecker. You know what I mean? He's got a good stick.
Very good stick. And that's what you need. Someone to break up a pass, just stop what they're trying to do.
Marchand's like an incredible penalty kill. Incredible.
Yeah. All right, boys. Well, that we've gone.
I mean, you know, obviously, Bergeron would have come in handy for those situations.
Yeah. All right, boys.
But I wasn't the demotion of Marchand down to the second line that's reinvigorated him. He's had more goals since then than he had all season.
Quite a night he had the other night.
Oh. Yeah, that was fun. All right, boys. That's our show for tonight. I want to thank the fellas. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune in again next Thursday night at 7:00 for another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night.